We have a number of known possible rogue planets closest to our solar system. What are rogue planets? They're termed interstellar, nomad, free-floating, unbound, orphan, wandering, starless or sunless planets. They're just thrown out and roaming around free, and an interstellar object of planetary mass, therefore smaller than stars and brown dwarfs. Now, what are brown dwarfs? They're substellar objects that are not massive enough to sustain nuclear fusion to become suns, and they have a mass between the most massive gas giants planets and the least massive stars. Now, without a host planet system, though, such objects have been ejected from the planetary system in which they formed or have never been gravitationally bound to any star or brown dwarf. The Milky Way galaxy, where we belong, alone may have billions to trillions of such rogue planets, a range the upcoming Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope will likely be able to narrow down and find. Some planetary mass objects have been formed in a similar way to stars, and the International Astronomical Unit has proposed that such objects can be called sub-brown dwarfs. An example is CHA 110913, which may have been ejected becoming a rogue planet or formed on its own to become a sub-brown dwarf. And this is an artist's representation of what it would look like in infrared. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. Astronomers use the Herschel Space Observatory Very Large Telescope to observe a very young, free-floating planetary mass object, OTS-44, and demonstrate the processes characterizing the canonical star-like mode of formation applied to isolated objects down to a few Jupiter masses. Herschel far infrared observations show that OTS-44 is surrounded by a disk of at least 10 Earth masses, and this could eventually form a mini planetary system. And here we are on Wikipedia where we have our information. This is the star planetary mass free floating objects in the star system. OTS-44, a free floating planetary mass object or brown dwarf located at 550 light years in the constellation Chamaeleon near the Refraction Nebula IC 2613. And it's among the lowest mass free floating of substellar objects. Sunless yet warm, interstellar planets generate little heat and are not heated by any star since they're wandering around. But in 1998, David Stevenson theorized that some planet-sized objects adrift in interstellar space might sustain a thick atmosphere that would not freeze out. He proposed that these atmospheres would be preserved by pressure-induced infrared radiation. And now, the known or possible rogue planets. This is the OTS-44, as we said before, likely a low-mass brown dwarf. They're substellar objects, not massive enough, as we said. And from what we know, a couple of years back, NASA did come out, a lady was announcing to us very nicely and with a very tranquil, peaceful voice, that we do have a brown dwarf on the outskirts of our solar system. Now, what does that mean? I have no idea. This is another one, discovered 2002, type astronomical object. And this one here, wow, okay, that's nice. CHA 110913, astronomical object surrounded by what appears to be protoplanetary disk. And you can see it right there. That's the blow up of it. That's about 529 light years from our Earth. And this is another picture, SIMP J013656, brown dwarf planetary mass object at 19.9 light years from our Earth in the constellation Pisces, belonging to the spectral class. And these are all rogue planets. This one was discovered in 2006. And this one, UGPS, brown dwarf of a late T-type, or possibly a rogue planet. Okay, and then this one here, that's a picture that we saw before, that when we saw the visual, then this is the infrared, the artist conception. The rogue planet, interstellar object of planetary mass, therefore smaller than Fusers and without a host planetary system. Such objects have been ejected from the planetary system in which they formed or have never been gravitationally bound to any star or brown dwarf. And going down, you can see that they're increasing in age. Let's go to this one. That's what we saw. Okay, WISE. That's in the middle there of the circle. Brown dwarf or rogue planet, located in constellation Lyra, about 47 light years from our Earth. This was discovered 2012. And this is another one, free-floating planetary mass object, possibly high metallicity and low mass brown dwarf. And this one discovered 2012. Another WISE object with some mapping of it. Another one 2013, likely a red dwarf. What's a red dwarf? A red dwarf is the smallest, coolest kind of star on the main sequence, and red dwarfs are by far the most common type of star in the Milky Way, at least in the neighborhood of our sun. But they have, because of the low luminosity, individual red dwarfs cannot be easily observed. And then we have this one, another one, free-floating planet, about 80 light years away. Let's go to another WISE one. You can see there's quite a lot. But when we get the new telescopes up, and most of them will be infrared, we'll be able to see much more. Oh, this is a video of it. Okay, there you go. It's moving. Sub-brown dwarf, therefore fourth closest star sub-brown dwarf system to our sun. The discovery, which was announced April 2014 by Kevin Luhman using data from the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer WISE for short. So the infrared telescopes will be, a lot of them will be going up the next few years, and because they will be infrared, they'll be able to see a lot more of what's there as opposed to the visible light. Okay, this was discovered 2014. Let's go to this one. Okay, these are confirmed. This one is confirmed. Okay, 2015. Another WISE. Okay, and this one, let's see this one. Okay, that's the one we had before. And they keep going. This one is a candidate. This one is age uncertain, but old because of high velocity, indicative of old stellar population. Wow. During the 1944 Walter Baade categorized groups of stars within the Milky Way into stellar populations. Okay. And this one was discovered last year, 2020. And this one here, multiple solutions, 2021. Okay. So that's it. Rogue, let's see, rogue comets. There we go. Interstellar object is an astronomical object in interstellar space that is not gravitationally bound to our star, and this term can also be applied to an object that is on an interstellar trajectory but is temporarily passing close to a star, such as certain asteroids and comets. Okay. This is on Wikipedia. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.